shop today trying to fix a little issue I've been having with this C10. Some of y'all may also have this same issue, but I wasn't able to use this passenger side mirror. So the way it was mounted on there, I couldn't see down the side of the truck very well. So we're making these little wedges, and I'm gonna walk through how I made them. May not be the way everybody would do them, but it's the way I did it. It's the product I used, and so far so good. So let me walk through how we did it. All right, what we're using is a product called SBR. It's I can't pronounce it, but it's just it's a dense rubber. What I bought is 3/8 inch thick, and it comes in a 12 by 22 inch sheet. Just bought it off Amazon. I've already cut this one out. This is for the driver's side. As you saw in the previous clip there, we already have the passenger side done. But I thought, you know, someone might have the same issue, might want to know how to try to take care of it. And this is just one way to take care of it. There's probably others. This is the way I chose to do it. So what I did is I created a template of the base of my mirror. And you'll see I marked the holes in it. I marked the top and the front edge of the base. And my template is just a shy bigger than the base itself. Then I took the template, laid it on the sheet and marked it out, but I clamped it down so that nothing can move. I have a piece of board here for my knife to go through on. Drew it out so the piece of product or material is actually a little bit bigger than my template, which is good, and it's actually bigger than the base. And as you can see, I set the base on there, marked my holes, and also drew the outline so I knew exactly where the base would fall on this little piece of material. Cutting it out, I just used a standard razor blade in my knife. A couple things, I made 3 or 4 passes on each cut. And I didn't want to try to cut through this whole material at the same time. Just going a little bit at a time, making 3 or 4 passes seemed to work the best. Also, keep your blade perpendicular to the material as close as you can, because if you do it at an angle, the back side will be smaller than the front side, vice versa if you go the other way. But by keeping it perpendicular, you got a nice even edge to start with when you put it on a belt sander to start shaping it. So we're going to move over to the drill press. I'm going to drop 3 holes through this thing just to make sure that I've got those and I don't have to drill through a real thin piece of this. And then we're going to put it on the belt sander and shape it. And we need to take it down to get rid of most of this line, if not all of it, because like I said, the inside line here that I created is the edge of the base of the mirror. So let me get set up on the drill press and be right back. There we go, we got 3 holes. I let it ride up the drill press just to kind of clean the holes out a little bit. I also went from the back just to make sure I had everything out of the way on the back side too. The first ones I cut, the hole kind of closed up on the rear, on the back side. So I flipped them over and run it from the back side too. So next up, let's make a shape out of it. All right, so now we're gonna try to make a shape out of this thing. I'm gonna start with my 4.5 inch grinder with just a sanding disc on it. I think these are 120 grit. They'll make pretty quick work of this. So really all I'm gonna do is take these edges down to just remove part of this silver line, and then we'll adjust it from there if we need to. So let me get started with this, and it does make a mess. So anything you don't want covered in black dust, you better get out of your way because it is gonna make a mess. See, took it down to I just barely left a little bit of that line. You probably can't see it on the video. So let me get the rest of it shaped down to the same size, and then we'll move over to the belt sander and finish this thing up. All right, we've got our basic shape. Probably still a little bit bigger than the mirror, but we'll worry about that here in a few minutes. So what I'm gonna do now is, I know this is the front side here because I got my marks on it. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna lay it on the belt sander, and I'm gonna start with just holding the front edge up a little bit and it's applying some pressure back here to start make a wedge out of it. Again, I want to keep the front edge as close to 3/8 as I can. So let me get started here and we'll see how it turns out. Good start on this. I don't know if you can tell. You can see the shiny spot here. This is what I haven't touched yet on the belt sander. But as you can see, that end is quite a bit little thinner than the other one so far. So you can see we've got a start of a wedge here. So I'm going to keep putting this on the belt sander and get it down to where we need to go. Just one other thing as I'm going on with this, as I'm holding it to the belt sander, the end that I want thinner, I'm putting more pressure on just to create that wedge and to get it to take more material off. And this end, it's touching the belt sander, but it's not having any pressure on it. So this end I will hardly put any pressure on. So let's keep going. This tapered just about where I want it. I think I said I'm taking it down to a 1/16 here. Actually, I'm taking it down to just under an 1/8 on the back edge there. Again, still leaving the front at 3/8. So next up, I just need to shape it a little bit, but I'm going to go test fit it on the truck first, and then we'll come back and finish shaping it. All right, we got it test fit on there. I've just got a couple screws in it right now to hold it on there. You probably can't see this. I'll get you a little closer here in a second. Bottom side I've got shaped pretty good, almost right up to the edge of the mirror base. Front edge and rear edge I need to shave off a little bit along with the whole top. So what I like to do is, like again, since it's black, I'm using a silver Sharpie. Don't worry about getting the Sharpie on your chrome mirror. A little brake clean will take that right off. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to come in here, right around here, just mark where I need to shave. The inside of that line will tell me where I need to be as far as where to stop. So just mark it all off. And let me get you in here a little closer and let you see what I did. All right, so there you go. You can see my silver mark there from my Sharpie. A little fuzz there. But bottom edge you can see is pretty much dead on. Back edge, you can just barely see my mark in there. I don't have it pulled up quite tight yet. Like I said, I'm still missing one screw. I couldn't get it to line up, so we'll fix that on the final install. Having troubles lining up one of the holes over there, so I went ahead and put it back on the drill press and opened up those holes a couple of sizes just to make it a little easier once I get ready to do the final install. So next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to put it back in this vise and use my 4.5 inch grinder with the sanding pad. Just take it down, remove most of that line that I put on there, and then I'll put it on the belt sander, just smooth things up a little bit, and we should be ready to put it on the truck. before I go over to the truck, I'm just making sure we got it to the right size, and it looks like we do. Try to hold it up here so you can see it, but lines up pretty good. Holes line up pretty good. So I like to go ahead and stick these screws in because it's easier than trying to handle the mirror, the wedge, and all these screws at the same time when I'm on the side of the truck. So, and the rubber's holding them in. So we'll just go ahead and put them in there and let the wedge do its job. And we'll go over to the truck and get it installed. Here we go. I don't know if I mentioned the reason that I'm doing this and the issue that I was having, but on the passenger side, I wouldn't have had to do this for the driver's side, but I'm a little OCD and I want them to match. But on the passenger side, I couldn't pull the mirror in close enough to the window to be able to see out of it. It hung way out. If I was running down a 2-lane road, all I could see was the ditch and all the grass over there. So by kicking the front edge out, it gives you a little bit more side-to-side movement. If you needed more up-down movement, you'd create the wedge the other direction. So that's the reason behind all this. And so if you're having that problem, I'll put a link in the description below of the material that I used that I bought off Amazon. And so far it's working pretty good. You'll notice that I'm not using the gaskets that go with the mirrors, that go behind them. You could if you wanted to, but I chose not to. My theory is I don't need them since I'm putting this piece of rubber behind them also. So let's get it put on. There we go. This one's put back together. Shaped pretty good. Pretty flush around the edges. May not be perfect, but good enough for who it's for. But it allows me to get a little bit more side-to-side movement on my mirrors to get them pulled in far enough so that I can see down the side of the truck instead of clear out in the field when I'm going down the road. The passenger side was the worst. I really wouldn't have had to do this, but like I said, I kind of wanted them to match on both sides, so that's what we ended up doing. Let me get you in here a little closer, and then that'll be about it for this one. There we go. You can see we got it in there. Do have a little bit extra hanging out right there and right here on this bottom edge, but not enough to really hurt anything. So we're gonna call that good. And call this one done. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe to the channel. Helps us out a little bit, and be looking for our next video.